Test, test. Hey Nisi, welcome to the stream. How's Nisi doing today? You guys getting more snow up there? Once again, I have literally no topic. I'm here to try to answer questions. Snow's melting. Well, I hear they got, hey Laura, welcome to the stream. I hear they got 11 or 12 inches in Michigan yesterday. So across the Midwest, North Midwest, they're getting hammered right now. Hey Lumpy Dog, welcome to the stream. Hey Sneezanna K, welcome to the stream. I'm assuming my audio's coming in good. I'm not sure what exactly I chose for a background video today. I just clicked on one of the ones I had in my list, so I guess we'll just have to see. It's obvious to me that this is the 75-gallon from some time ago. You can still see all the Java moss in the middle of the screen. Lumpy Dog says just rain here, but freezing rain warnings until 9 p.m. Yeah, we're supposed to get it Monday. Sunday night and Monday is when we've got a shot at it again. I'm done with winter. I don't know how the rest of you feel, but I'm over it. I'm ready to move on to spring and bitching and whining about how hot it is, how it's too hot. Hey Flynn's Fish Forum, welcome to the stream. How's Flynn today? Thanks, Nisi. You are the hostess with the mostest. Yeah, I'm not really sure what video I picked here. This is kind of interesting background going on. Ah, that's my wife's skirt. That's what we were looking at. And that's the chunk of driftwood on the right-hand side of the 75-gallon in the dining room. Flynn, I really enjoyed you and Jeremy's stream, what, week and a half ago now? I thought that was a really good combination, you two guys. So I'm pretty much open to questions today, if anybody has any. You are quite welcome, sir. I watch your stuff. Nisi asks, do you have a favorite rarer moss? I have a ton of Java moss, but want something prettier. Nisi, I think my favorite moss is Christmas moss. And Christmas moss is very much like, suddenly my mind goes blank. Christmas moss just has a slightly different branching form than a lot of the other regular mosses do. Peacock moss. Oh gosh, I can't believe I can't remember the name of mosses now. Getting old is terrible. You have stuff in your memory bank. Hey Priscilla, welcome to the stream. I've been really enjoying your watch while I draw videos. Flame moss is another one. Yeah, there are a lot of different kinds of mosses that I have gotten to know in the last 2 years because I don't know, they just suddenly started appealing to me. And of all the, I have a terrible brown thumb. I can kill any plant at any time with very little effort. And yeah, Nisi, Java Moss, as you go on and on, wow, it looks like my video's lagging a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. Not quite sure what's up with that. Maybe one of my games that I've got going in the background is causing an issue. As you go along, you will begin to understand that Java moss is a bit of a nuisance plant. It's kind of like yeah, willow moss. There you go, Priscilla. Java moss kind of tends to get like duckweed. It will get in everything. It will get everywhere. I liken it to hair algae. Yeah, Laura says Java moss is really stringy, and it is. It's probably my least favorite of the mosses. Hey, Danks, welcome to the stream, man. If I were to suggest to you to use Java moss in a tank, I would kind of suggest it to you like using nausea guppy grass in a tank. Pretty much just let the Java moss or just let the nausea grass rule the tank. Don't try to put other plants in there with them, because they're either going to get strangled out or they're gonna just be a combo of the Java moss and whatever other plant it is, because Java moss gets everywhere. Nisi says her moss is in a breeder box. Mosses are one of the few things that I seem to be able to grow, and I'm not sure exactly why I'm able to grow them. Priscilla says that her Oaxaca has a bed of Java moss on top of the sponge filter to sleep in, and when he poops, all the digested snail shells get stuck in it. Yeah. Yeah, pearl wheat's pretty much the same thing, Lumpy Dog. It's I don't know. I wonder if I could show you my when I first got this video stuff, I bought this, and I have used it very little. So hang on to your hats for a minute. There's going to be a slight disconnect, and we're going to go look at my Java moss. Since you guys are talking about Java moss, I very rarely am able to do a very good job of showing you guys the rest of my tanks, but I'm going to carry this video camera. Okay, so get ready. Here we go. Major disconnect. And you are going to go on a little journey with me here, if I can manage to get my camera to go where it needs to go. Get to see more of my dirty house than you could possibly ever want to see. I'll let you look at the ceiling while we go. Oh boy. Headphones in the mix. Oh, man. I should have been a little better prepared for this. Alright, here we go. We are actually going to go in the bedroom and look at fish tanks. Here is my 110. And you can get the look from the end of my 110 and see my little school of reed tetras and my school of lemon tetras and my school of pencilfish, although the pencilfish are all broken up and all over the tank. And you can see the teleocyclas when they come out. And if we're lucky, we'll catch a pleco in her cave. Doesn't look like there's two in there though, does it? And there's one of the younger female. And there's the male. Seems to be the only male I have left. And this is the moss in the shrimp tank. And I think you can see that there is a good deal of moss in there and a great many shrimp. The water level is also low. Today's my day for water changes, which I will be doing shortly after the video. You can also see a magnolia leaf completely stripped bare. There's a little bit of subwasser tang in that corner, but you can see this has become just a pure layered moss tank, and the shrimp seem to really like it. All right, back so I can see what's going on. All right, did that work? Could you guys actually see? Because I wasn't able to look at chat while I was out. All right, back. Yeah, they really do love that moss. Is it lagging? Is it lagging on you guys? I'm showing lagging on my video screen, but the video worked out all right. You could actually see, besides being jerked all around as I was moving the camera. Kind of dissy but fun, Potato says. Welcome to the stream, man. No lag, good, that's great. Let's see, Lumpy Dog says, many people think I'm good with aquatic plants, but not really. I keep guppy grass in water conditions that it's like. That's all there is to the story. Yeah. Priscilla, that subwasser tang came from Mark's shrimp tanks. Mark in Norway. And I would really recommend Mark Shrimp's tanks videos for anybody. Justin Shepard, welcome to the stream. Okay, well, it's just showing lag. Valley Fish says, I hope it's still snowing. I don't. I hope the snow is done. A couple of my friends up in Michigan are screaming and ranting and raving about the snow they got. Hey, Candy Overhauls, how is your younger progeny doing today? I hope things have been going well with him. Nisi asked, how was the shipping from Mark? He had some things I'm interested in, but scared of high shipping costs. Nisi, the only issue that I had with Mark with Mark's Subwassertang that I got was that it took it 3 weeks to get here. And so I was pretty sure that when I opened up the package that I was going to have a pile of gook and nothing alive, but it survived perfectly well. It was a really nice portion that he sent. And I think that you will find Mark as good a place to buy from as there is in the fish fam, because Mark goes out of his way to buy very large quantities of the few things that he does sell. I highly recommend his the clay that he sells, the mineral clay that you sprinkle in the tank once a month for plants. Priscilla is wondering how fast it would grow in a CO2 tank. Priscilla, you would probably have to do a little more research about CO2 for, I'm assuming you're talking about Subwassertang. I know there are a few plants that don't do as well. Hey, Petsotics, multiple aquariums. I think you will find that most of us here have MTS, multiple tank syndrome. Hey, KG Cichlids, welcome to the stream. Potatoes says, I have nothing but tiny shreds of Subwassertang that don't want to die, but also will not grow. I can't really give you any real advice about what might be causing your Subwassertang to just barely hang on. Potato, I just, for some reason it has worked for me, and basically all I do is drop it in the tank and leave it completely alone. I will mention that in my tank, that one you were just looking at, that it is not very much flow. There is very little flow. I basically have two 40-gallon sponge filters, one in each corner, and that is all the filtration that I have in that tank. So maybe low flow, not a lot of heavy flow. KG Cichlids asks, what's your take on how long aerobic bacteria will last without flow? KG, I do not know this to be a scientific fact, but I know that most people say that you have about an hour. If you have a large canister filter and you do a cleaning of it, by siphoning some water out of your tank into a 5-gallon bucket and then cleaning the filtration baskets of that canister filter in that 5-gallon bucket of tank water so that it doesn't kill what bacteria you want to keep, that you have about an hour to get the flow back running again before you're actually doing more harm to your tank by turning it back on. Now, if you've got a tank that's well matured, that has lots of other kinds of filtration and bacteria medium in it, then you won't be doing as much harm if you take 2 hours to clean your canister filter and then plug it back in and let it run. But you are going to be kicking out dead aerobic bacteria, which will add to the bioload of your tank if you wait much longer than an hour. So I'm going to say aerobic bacteria will last without flow for an hour or slightly more, depending on the oxygenation level of the water in your tank. If the water in your tank is really hot, like 82, 83 degrees, there is less oxygen in that water, so it will not sustain the aerobic bacteria as long, or at least that's my take on it. Hey Turbofish, welcome to the stream. Let's see. Lumpy Dog enjoys Mark Shrimp's videos too. And Nisi, I hope I answered that the shipping from Mark was good and that he is as cheap of a shipper from that distance as I know of. He basically ships everything the cheapest way possible. So I don't think that the shipping costs will scare you much. Most of the things you're going to get from Mark are going to be pretty small anyway, like that, I can't remember the name of that clay. But those are the two things that I have gotten from Mark. A bag of that clay, mineral clay, and a portion of Subwassertang. And both of them I found very good and very well shipped and quite cheap. He goes out of his way to be as okay, Danks is asking about getting it cleaned. I'm not sure who he was asking to. Okay. Ray's Fish Room, welcome to the stream. Ray says, hi Dwayne, with your experience, can you talk about how the new is not always better? I have been changing my fish room back to some under gravel filters and the tanks are thriving with plants and all. And boy, you have served me up a softball right in my wheelhouse. I just hope I can hit it out of the park like I should. Anything, sciences, music. If you look at the history of jazz, what has gone on is that people have come up with new innovation in phraseology in jazz. They come up with a new riff, and then someone else later on after them will take a piece of that riff and then expand it, and you have a whole new type of jazz that's based on the jazz from before. And if you study jazz very much, jazz music, you will begin to understand that it is simply people standing on the shoulders of the people who came before them. Hey IFG, welcome to the stream. Geez, IFG, you saying I need Java moss is like someone else saying I need duckweed. Anyway, my take on what has gone on in the hobby in the last 40 years is that ever so slowly the technology has developed. Someone made something like the old diatom filter. Laura would love to see a little fish room tour. I've done several, Laura, in my videos, so I would recommend you to look back and see them. I think I called one Around the World. Hey Joel, welcome to the stream, man. The technology keeps getting pushed forward a little bit. When I was really beginning to understand the hobby and how things worked, and things like the hot magnum hang on tank, which was where hot came from. Magnum filters were all the rage, and everybody was getting rid of their Magnum filters, canister filters that they had on the floor, and hanging them on their tanks. And that was like later 70s, early 80s, and they came out with diatomaceous filters, where you literally stuck a coffee filter around the intake of the canister filter itself, where the water was pulled in and then sucked into the motor. You would put a coffee filter around it, and then drop in dried diatomaceous earth, which is basically skeletons of tiny diatoms, and it would coat that filter and create such a small area for water to get through that it was pulling it down to so many microns in size, basically like an RO filter. It would polish the water because of the size of the flow areas that diatomaceous diatoms created, but it was such a mess. All you had to do was leave a little slot open in the paper somewhere, or bump something while you were pouring the diatomaceous in, and it would create such a mess and pump it all into your tank, and it would be a nightmare. So the technology has slowly moved forward year after year after year to where we have really gotten to a place where the technology can start leaping forward. But all of it comes from what was done in the 60s, what was done in the 70s, what was done in the 80s, what was done in the 90s. All of that stuff goes together to create the shoulders for all these new technologies that have been created to stand on to reach new heights. And so, in my humble opinion, that all of that stuff previous was critical to the development of the new stuff. And your question points to the fact that things like under-gravel filters, which have become highly passé and are no longer in vogue, which when I first started in the aquarium hobby, that was all everybody used. Now some people used power heads on their under-gravel filters. Some people used power heads that push the water back down the lift pipe into the bottom of the under-gravel filter and then pushed the water back up through the gravel so that it was a reverse under-gravel filter, and that worked really well. A lot of people kept their under-gravel filters going for a long, long time. There's a couple of ways that under-gravel filters don't really work. If you have very large cichlids, they are going to dig down to the under-gravel filter, and all the flow will go right to that opening that they have dug. Of course, the way the hobby adjusted to that was to put an inch of gravel on top of the under-gravel filter, then put egg crate light diffuser panels cut to fit down on top of that, and then add an inch or two more gravel on top, so that when the cichlids started digging, there was always going to be at least an inch of gravel above the under-gravel filter so that it would work. I've got 3 under-gravel filters working in my tanks. You probably couldn't see it in the 110, but the side that I have my plants on has an under-gravel plate, and I have about 4 to 5 inches of gravel, Eco Complete, and then pea gravel on top, over top of that, so that I could grow my plants on that side. Of course, my plant growing is nothing. Brazil moss is a gorgeous moss, Candy. It's one of the ones I first started out with, but mostly what I've got now, underrated filter, pun intended, yes. Air pumps, I think that the old air pumps were far less efficient than the stuff that we've got now. I think TDS meters are a whole new world of development over the test kits that we had back in the day, because basically the only test kit I had was a pH test kit and a nitrate test kit. And that was all I had for a long time. So those were basically the only test kits that I could find way back in the day. And even those were pretty unreliable. So with the advent of all these, if you look in science divisions of like water quality people that go all over the world testing water qualities, or that are part of the water water industry in the United States and other countries whose job it is to ensure the quality of the water that is being delivered to the public, you will find a vast array. The flags flapping behind me are Buddhist prayer flags. I have studied Buddhism for a long time, and while they are supposed to be outside where the wind can flap them, I have a ceiling fan that keeps them going, because as they move, Nisi's putting her face on and lurking. Nisi, you are more than welcome to lurk. Valley Fish says, my peacocks love to move gravel off it, like you said, till it's bare. I just push it back. Never heard about the egg crate idea. Valley Fish, we had to go through all kinds of the people that kept Central and South American cichlids. Hey Joseph, JH Aquariums, Fish Fam News in the house. Hola, right back to you, man. We're basically just ranting on for the hour here, Joseph. If you have any questions, I'd love to hear them. Yeah, the egg crate over an inch or an inch and a half of gravel will create a situation where the cichlid can no longer dig any deeper. You know, they might pull a few pieces of gravel out of it, but it basically provides a barrier so that at no point is your under gravel completely uncovered. You know, because once you uncover an under gravel filter anywhere, the water's no longer going through the gravel, it's going through that hole. KG says, I got tired of fixing the gravel after my fronts mess it up. I just let them do their thing. Well, eventually they'll cover it back up digging holes elsewhere. But that's a very common behavior in large cichlids, and most people that have done research say, JH, I don't think I'm going to stay at a hotel. I really don't, Joseph. I can't see the sense of wasting money on a hotel. I'll probably just go out walking around and taking some pictures. Of course, it's going to be at night most of the time when I'm going to be there, but I'm probably just going to walk around and take pictures and try not to get ripped off or knocked out and mugged. I pity the fool that tries to steal my camera, though. I'm going to tear him a new asshole. Let's see, are there any other... I mean, the idea of old school fish keeping, the idea of what was valuable back then, having no use in the current, is completely wrong to me. Well, IFG, we're getting all kinds of weird reports out of Peru now about the tour buses being pulled over and robbed, about gangs running loose in cities and targeting tourists. So So it's getting to be a little bit squirrely down there. I know that Michael Barber has said that we don't really need to worry about it, that most of the time and the places that we will be uninvolved with any shining path. Yeah, Ray, I think you'll find that most fish keepers in this hobby that well, that sounds good, Joseph. I'd be tickled to death to have somebody with me to where we could watch each other six, maybe. Uh, where is this IFG? Um, Corey, Corey McElroy, Dean, and Joseph from JH Aquatics, and maybe Bob Steenfott, and I will all be going to southeastern Peru in a national forest. Puerto Maldonado is the name of the biggest town close by. It's in the Machu Picchu area. I know there's a lot of talk about taking a bus trip to Machu Picchu, and as bad as I would hate the idea of getting that close to Machu Picchu and never seeing it, I still think I'd rather be out in the wild collecting fish, as this will probably be my one shot in my entire life to go someplace like this. It's in a national forest. It's the Rio Madre Dios is the river system that we're going to be on. We're going to spend 7 days collecting. I think it's going to be a day and a half down plane trip and a day and a half back plane trip. So it's going to wrap up about 10 days for me. But we'll have a big layover in Lima, Peru, which is on the western coast of Peru, on the other side of the Andes Mountains, which is what we'll have to cross over to go back down to Puerto Maldonado. This is where all the rivers that are in Brazil and Venezuela and most of southern South America all have their start. The water is going to be cooler, maybe slightly more TDS, slightly more mineral in the water because it is just coming down out of the mountains and hitting the flatlands, and it will later on become all of the slow meandering rivers that are in Brazil and Venezuela and all those places, where it becomes more of a tropical water condition, whereas we're going to be in a slightly cooler tropical water condition. The temperatures of the air will be very similar to Brazil and Venezuela and those places, but the water itself will be slightly cooler, like in the 70s, I'm guessing, 76, 77. Right now, Laura, it is me, Corey, Dean, Corey's friend Dean, and Joseph. So there are 4 of us that are firmly committed now. And I'm going come hell or high water. Yeah, well, dang, Peru is one of the last really unspoiled areas in that part of the world to go collecting. If I had my druthers, it's Met Harvez. Welcome to the stream. It's Met Me Harvez. If I had my druthers, I'd be collecting L260s on the Rio Tapajos from the start of the river all the way as far up as I could get. You can't really get much past the waterfalls because the water becomes so so much like it is in Peru. It's me, Harv Z. Yeah, I mispronounced it several times. So we're going in the middle of July. So we're still 3 months out, about 3 months exactly. And I've still got to get my my passport in. Yeah, I'm excited Dean will be making it too, Joseph. And I'm really interested in Tetras, so I would really love to find some new or some Tetras. Joseph, do you have the dates handy for the trip? They're I want to say I'm flying in on the 14th and that I'm leaving on the Danks, we'd love to have you with us, man. It's going to be an exciting I figure you probably spend about 1,700 to $2,000 on the flights. And the trip is $500 deposit and 1,100 something. The 14th through the 23rd, yeah. But you need to be there on the 14th, and most flights for that will leave on the 13th. And the 23rd is just when we're done. And I am so looking forward to it. We're fighting our taxes right now. We have had serious money issues because of taxes, but I can't wait to get to an Army surplus store and start looking for stuff to buy. Your flight for $1,000 both ways, Joseph? Oh my gosh, I spent twice that. I guess it's just where you're flying from that makes it cheaper. You're probably actually a lot closer than I am. Although it doesn't seem like you would be. Thanks, we'd love to have you along, man. I can get you, or one of us can get you in the Facebook group if you're on Facebook. That's where we're doing our talking, and everybody's posting their flight trips. Hey, Jenna Tucker, welcome to the stream. We're basically just ranting on and on about nothing, as is usual here. We're running up on quarter till. If anybody has any last minute, yeah, and you can talk to Corey too. Okay, talk to Corey and Corey can get you in. Thanks. Or get your wife in. Laura, Bob was wanting to go, but he has some kind of issue, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. Bob's being very close to the vest about his reason for not going. I thought Jim would go, but Jimmy seems to be not really interested in being out of the country at this time. One wonders why someone would worry about being out of the country when a certain person is president, but I guess one can figure that out on their own. It's I have kept fish for the better part of my life. Man, that's about as good a way to become a moderator, Joseph, as I know of. That basically gives you the perfect excuse to say, I have the link, but I'm not a mod. You're a mod now, Joseph. So post it. For the better part of my adult life, I have been keeping fish. And it's been off and on. I've had dry spells. I've had spells where my life, hey G Bear, welcome to the stream. I've had spells where my life was really not conducive, you know, young children, you know, that sometimes your money is tied up in other things that are more important. Okay, Joel says he's coming, but he's just going to be in the background stealing Dean's fish. Okay. Well, I have heard that the cost of shipping fish back is extremely high. So I have taken the 7 fish permit out so that I can at least try to bring 7 back with me. And I'll see about the expenses. I may try to send my fish with Dean and Corey and pay them to, you know, carry my part of the fish and ship them to me at some point if any survive. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. Joel says it would be impossible to bring wild caughts back to New Zealand. I can't believe that that's true, Joel, because someone is selling fish in New Zealand and some of them are wild caught. So it's possible. It's just it's possible. It's just probably expensive. You need an importer's license. You need someone with an exporter's license to send the shipment so that it has all the necessary paperwork. And Go Wild Peru has the necessary paperwork to ship, and it will allow us to bring them into the country. It's like a cartel, though. It seems only certain people can do it. Yeah, well, Joel, I can see that that's probably a high possibility. That doesn't mean you can't get to know a shipper yourself. The problem with shippers is they don't want to ship 5 fish to somebody. They want to ship 5,000 fish to somebody. So I could get some of the better shippers in Germany to ship to me if I was willing to buy 1,800 fish. So, you know, that's the least they're going to ship. So you just have to do that. And Joel, having who's who of fish keeping anywhere in the world hate you is pretty much a badge of courage. You know, pretty much a badge of honor, because there are a lot of dickheads in the who's who of fish keeping around this world. And to have some of them hate you is not always such a bad thing. Many of the rest of the people in the fish keeping hobby, knowing that those people hate you, may actually put you in a better stead than having no one hate you. You know, it's better to be infamous than unknown sometimes. What's up, dickheads? Yeah, I'm sure that will demonetize my video, but F you, YouTube, I never monetize any of my videos, so I don't care. Well, anytime you have any kind of scientific grouping, military grouping, fish keeping grouping, any other major hobby grouping, you are going to have egos in play. And sometimes people's egos out-trump everything else around them. And it's a sad commentary on the state of people. These people are knowledgeable, they are highly intelligent, but it doesn't mean that their egos don't rule them. Justin, you're never going to get anything but me from me. So what you see is what you get. Yeah, Priscilla, it's there's always going to be a pecking order. And the fish keeping hobby has always been old, middle-aged white men that had to kiss ass on their way up to the place that they're in, and so they want everybody else that's beneath them to do the same thing on the way up. And I love the fish keeping hobby. I love the great people in this fish keeping hobby, but I'm going to tell you that your heroes may have clay feet. Your heroes may not be the people that you actually think they are when you actually start shaking their hands and talking to them. And my advice would be to man your guns, stand your position, decide right now where you feel like you want to draw the line in the hobby. What are your priorities? What are things that you will not do or will do? And stand your ground. Don't ever once in your entire life decide based on the fact that you want someone to think something. G-Bear, I thought about it. I thought about no beard. But then I went and got these passport shots taken. I'm not sure how well you can see them. I don't know where the light's looking at. So I'm going full on beard and full on hair. I don't have a boss anymore except my wife. And my wife, yeah, critters might get in there. I might actually be able to bring back some plant material and some shrimp and some small fish. Yeah, they look like mug shots to me. Candy, when I saw them when they gave me. Yeah, I'll be trying to smuggle in about 60 fish in this beard. So I would warn all airport security to make sure to search my beard very thoroughly when they start searching me for contraband fish. I thought about that, Priscilla. I thought about doing the double dwarf braids, but I think I'm just going to let it go. It blows up in my face really nicely when the wind blows. It'll keep mosquitoes off my neck. I would love to bring back some moss. I don't know that it's possible. I don't know that we can get away with it. But nothing would please me more than to bring back an envelope of plant material that I found. Now, plants have a hard time with water change. You know, a severe water change going from 12 TDS to 300 TDS is probably going to cause most plants to melt back. And I don't think that I could get away with it. If I could figure out how to get some plant spores through customs. Oh, terrestrial moss. Ooh. Oh, you want terrestrial moss for your vivariums. I get it, Dank. I don't know. Yeah, customs is going to hate on me anyway, Priscilla. I'm probably going to get the full extent of the eye of customs. And lo and behold, I'm going to be coming back into the country in New Jersey. T-Bear, yes, I'm still smoking. I know I need to quit. Yes. Hush, hush. Shh. None of this shall leave this small group of knowing individuals. All right. We're closing on the hour here. You guys have gotten me. Hey, down the wormhole. Welcome to the stream. You've gotten me far afield from my normal, sedate, comfortable, non-confrontational videos. You've gotten a little more of the real me this video, but I'm sure you'll see some of it in the videos that come out of Peru, unless Corey blocks me from all his videos and Joseph blocks me from all his videos. If those two block me, then you'll just have to hear me in the background on the videos that I do. Corona Ken, welcome to the stream, man. You got here right at the tail end. This one may be worth watching. Again, Justin says, I feel like Java moss is just land moss grown underwater. I feel like Joseph wants to go, Priscilla. He has been in the Facebook group. He's talking about having his plane tickets soon. And if he spends that much money on plane tickets that are non-refundable, then my guess is he's going to be there. Okay, Priscilla, you want me to smuggle you in a fish box? Is worth the replay. Guys, I try to be non-political. I try to follow Corey's memes for not being negative in my videos. I mean, I do it. It's part of me, so I do it. I have my say on things because I'm old and I just don't give a damn anymore. I'm going to say what I think. But doesn't mean that that's my personal preference, that I'm non-political, that all of these things never enter my mind. And I'm sure that we will have some long, deep discussions in Peru until most of the people understand my point of view and no longer want to hear it anymore. Wow, Joseph, that's not bad. 2,200. Well, I started out at 1,600 on my plane tickets, and by the time it was done, it was 2019 something. So more power to you, and I truly look forward to seeing you there, and all of us being there. And as I've always said before, and that I've learned over a long period of my life, fishing is not about what you catch. Fishing is about the camaraderie of the people that you are with and the communing with nature that is around you. And if you catch fish on top of that, it's just icing on the cake, baby. So I know we're all going to fish, but I'm going as much to spend time in that area, to spend time in a relatively still, pristine part of the world. And I so am looking forward to this. I know you guys can't really feel my passion, but it's there. All right, guys. Cheers. Have a good rest of the weekend. I hope I've given you a little bit of information that will help you, that you haven't wasted your time listening to me. That's my main goal in all of this. You guys have a good week.